Okay, cars on the grid then, ready for our second race for the Pre-66 touring car, sponsored by Pultec Classic Race Engines. Now, Joe Ferguson has taken over the number 341 Mini from Tom Bell with a change of driver. He has to start from the back of the grid, so watch for him coming through. The grid in position, it's Phil Bullen-Brown, number 193 in his Mini on pole position with Pete Smith in the Lotus Cortina alongside him. Second row, Will Durdal in 501, so it must have been the same driver in the car for both races there. The Mini alongside 77 Alan Greenall. It's we're told it's Jimmy Syme, not Barry, on row 3 in the blue Mini. So Syme starts alongside Kevin Swan in the no, it should be Piers Grange, I think, on row 3 in the Ford Mustang. We'll have a look at that in a moment. Roger Stanford and John McGurk in their Lotus Cortinas on row 4. Then Robin Slater and Neil Bray. Anglia and Mini on row 5. Row 6, it is Graham Miller in the Austin A40 and James Ibbotson in the Hillman. These two driver cars are messing with my head today. 39 Alex Williams is next in his Anglia, then Martin Reynolds, Nathan Williams in his Mini, then Kevin Swan's Anglia, Michael Loveland and Freddie Brown in the Hillman Imps on row 9 as they move off for the green flag lap. Yeah, it is Piers Grange on row 3 in the Mustang. Next up, we've got Eric Walker, Anglia, Adam Gittings, Morris Minor, James Gibbons, Alfa Romeo, Patrick Harris, Morris Minor, Paul Cooper, Cortina, and Luke Wilson, Austin A40 on row 12. Row 13, Michael Foley in his new Cortina, and Keith Wright's Morris Minor. Then we have got Tim Dodwell's Mini, Brian Bedford's Austin A40. He's meant to be sharing that car with Steve Evans, so we don't know which one they did, which race, because the grid sheets have listed Brian Bedford for both. James Everard's Alfa Romeo failed to finish race 1. He should be there alongside Rob Burdett's Austin A40. Then we've got Roger Ebden in his Mini. I don't think he's there because of that damage from qualifying. Andy Mesham we didn't see in race 1, I don't think. He's out there along with James Burrows' Mini, Stuart Radford, and Joe Ferguson will start at the back. Will Durdal, though, is in position on the second row. Well, we sort of got there. Okay, the Durdal Mini, we think it's Will on board, is starting third, not at the back as was listed there, but Joe Ferguson is at the back, which means that one car's changed drivers and the other hasn't. I hope you're following this, everyone. In fairness, being a bank holiday weekend, it is my 4th consecutive full day of commentary. Okay, the back of the grid coming through. It will be Phil Bullen-Brown's Mini on pole position. Pete Smith, the double winner at Silverstone in the Cortina alongside him. There's Will Durdal, the grey Mini. Alan Greenall in the big Falcon alongside him. Piers Grange in the red Mustang behind him. .25 there, that's Jimmy Syme. Sharing with Barry yesterday, but Jimmy racing today. There is Tim Dodwell. There's the Bedford Evans A40, and there is the man to watch, Joe Ferguson, from the back in the Mini that won race 1 in the hands of Tom Bell. Pultec Pre-66 touring cars in position then, ready for 15 minutes of racing. Phil Bullen-Brown in the white Mini in pole position. The Lotus Cortina of Pete Smith alongside him. Second row, the grey Mini of Will Deardale. Alan Greenall in the white and blue Falcon. Piers Grange poised in the Mustang. Jimmy Syme in the blue Mini alongside him. We've got yellow flags, somebody with a problem. Who is that? One of the marshals dashes in. Piers Grange has got an issue there with the Mustang, I think. Now, is he requiring a push? Oh dear, it looks like it. And one marshal on his own is not going to move that big Mustang, unfortunately. We may be losing Piers Grange from the grid here. So the start will be delayed. So a team of marshals ordered in to remove the Mustang. Are they going to fit it through the gap there? Yes, they're going to turn him to the right. Mind the Mini. They push-started him. Now, what's Piers Grange going to do? No, he hasn't got going. Okay, the Mustang will be removed. No, hang on. He's backing up. What's he doing? What is Piers Grange doing? Is it... Now, this is going to be impressive. If he can reverse into his grid slot correctly in there, in that huge Mustang... Is he going to get it into the grid slot on the first attempt? He can't. He has. Now that's precision parking. Well done, Piers Grange. They had to bump start him, and he's backed it across the grid into his slot. That's superb. Well done, Piers Grange. Precision driving. Skills like that, he could park a super tanker. Right, the red lights come on then from the back of the grid. Here we go with the Pultec Pre-66 touring cars. Away they go. Wheel spin from Phil Bullen-Brown from pole position. Oh, and a bit of a squeeze there. The Mini of Will Deardale nearly got squeezed out. It's Alan Greenall using the grunt of the Ford Falcon down the outside with Pete Smith on the inside. It's Smith who's just going to say there's a little bit of rubbing there on the run into the first turn. Piers Grange has got away in the Mustang. Oh, and the Cortina's gone wide. Look how he's going to spin back into the pack. Goodness me. That was close. They dodge all over the place to avoid Pete Smith. That could have been a major and very expensive catastrophe, but they've all somehow avoided Pete Smith there at Redgate. Here we go then with Phil Bullen-Brown leading down towards the old hairpin. Will Deardale second in the Mini. It's Roger Stanford's Cortina up into third. Jimmy Syme is fourth in the Mini. Tyre smoke from Alex Williams in the Ford Anglia as they come through there. Now watch for the white Mini coming through from the back of Joe Ferguson. There's Keith Wright in his very smart Morris Minor. They're heading up towards McLean's the first time. It's the Minis from the Cortina, then another Mini, then the Falcon, which got away quickly off the line, but nearly tangled with Pete Smith. They start to settle down now. Watch for Will Deardale. He can throw that Mini around with abandon, and he's going to go after race leader Phil Bullen-Brown. Roger Stanford, vastly experienced saloon car racer, mainly in BMWs in years gone by, along with Lotus Cortinas. His son Jack has raced alongside him in the past. Jack now busy with work commitments. And look at the... Oh, the Falcon's going to avoid the chicane there. He missed the chicane completely. Did he run out of brakes there? Where's he gone? Where's Alan Greenall disappeared to? He's completely missed the chicane. Problems for Alex Williams. He's pulled up in the Anglia. I saw some smoke from that earlier. Well, Alan Greenall, where's he ended up? I'm not sure. The Falcon's disappeared. But anyway, away go the Minis. Bullen-Brown from Deardale. Then we've got Stanford, Syme. That's never Joe Ferguson up to 5th place already. It is. Joe Ferguson on that first lap gained 23 places and is in 5th place. That's incredible. That Mini is flying through the order. This is sensational stuff. Watch for Joe Ferguson in the Mini that won race 1 in the hands of Tom Bell. It was sideways all the way then. There he is. He's coming up on Syme now. There is Joe Ferguson. He started dead last on this huge grid of 28 cars, and he's up to 5th after 1 lap. That is phenomenal. He is on for the drive of the day here, Joe Ferguson, and he's on the tail of Jimmy Syme. There he is, and look how sideways he is, just like Tom Bell in the first race. He's caught Jimmy Syme. He's going for 4th place as they come down towards the chicane. 23 places in 1 lap. That's unbelievable. Here he comes on the inside of the 25 of Syme. 4th place for the Mini. Piers Grange is behind in the Mustang, I think. So it's Phil Bullen-Brown who leads. Deardale in 2nd. Stanford in 3rd. It's gonna be Joe Ferguson in 3rd at the moment. Here he comes. Down the inside. Into 3rd. 1 and a bit laps and he's up into 3rd position. That's absolutely superb. 23 places in 1 lap. I don't know how he's done that. There's yellow flags at the Craner curves. Right, so somebody has come to grief there. Can't see who it is at the moment. The yellow is out, so no passing at the Craner curves. Now, who has come to grief down there? We can't see. There's a green flag on the exit. It's at the old hairpin. Somebody has either pulled off. Number 76, we're told, Neil Bray. In his Mini has come to grief down there. Well, there is the number 341 of Joe Ferguson. He's up to 3rd now. He's going for Will Deardale for 2nd place. That Mini spending most of its time on 3 wheels as he's made up all those places. Here comes Phil Bullen-Brown. Will Deardale in 2nd place. A new generation of Mini racers here starring at the front of the field. Stanford 4th, and 5th behind him is Syme. Here they come to complete lap number 3. Over the line they go. Ferguson will have done the fastest lap of the race. Yes, 1:25.261. He's showing us behind Syme. I think there's an issue with the transponder on Ferguson's car because he's dropping down the order again now, but he is there in 3rd place. There's still yellows out there at the Craner curves because we have lost Neil Bray. Things settling down slightly now, but not for Joe Ferguson. Look at him sideways through the Craner curves there. What's he going to do at the old hairpin? Will Deardale kicks the tail out on his Mini as well. Here's the group further back. There's Alan Greenall. He has got going again in that Falcon. I think he headed into the paddock there, the way he overshot the chicane. Had to find his way back into the circuit. Nathan Williams there, getting past one of the Morris Miners, the 66 of Adam Gittins. Here are the Minis. Has Joe Ferguson got through yet on the back of Will Deardale? No, he hasn't. Phil Bullen-Brown leads. It's between these 3 Minis at the front of the field. Here he comes up the inside. He's going to go 2nd into the chicane. On the brakes, the Robert chicane. He'll just flick it sideways. Well, we say on the brakes for the chicane. The Mini drivers, they don't really touch the brakes. They just throw it sideways and use the tyres to scrub speed off. Here they come down towards Redgates. 9 minutes to go. Ferguson up to 2nd. Just Phil Bullen-Brown to clear now, his running mate. TBR on the number plates. That must stand for Tom Bell Racing. Here they come down the Craners. I think the yellow flag has been withdrawn there. Over the curbs. Flick it sideways. Phil Bullen-Brown. And look how sideways Ferguson is. So spectacular. Flamboyance is the order of the day. Now 2 of them cream and 1 grey, these 3 Minis. If they were red, white and blue, well, it'd be the Self-Preservation Society, wouldn't it? But no self-preservation here from Joe Ferguson. He's attacking on the inside at McLean's. And look, they're both sideways. They're almost driving in formation there. This is wonderful to watch. Here they come. He's going to take the lead on the inside, Joe Ferguson. Last to first, Joe Ferguson in 4.5 laps. Or 7 minutes, if you prefer. That is the drive of the weekend. Absolutely wonderful. Phil Bullen-Brown is fighting back, though. He wants the win here. Look at this into the chicane. They're both sideways. Here they come up to lap another Mini. I think that's Tim Dodwell. Dodwell lets them through. Tim saying, I've been racing Minis since the 60s. I can race with you lot as well. Again, Bullen-Brown nearly clips the back of his teammate there. There's Will Deardale in 3rd place. He's got past Dodwell too. And now Joe Ferguson starting to pull away. What's he going to do into the old hairpin? How sideways can he get it? Let's have a look. Oh, look at that. Absolutely beautiful. He's loving this, Joe Ferguson. They were racing in the Swinging 60s series yesterday here, Bell and Ferguson, and took the flag in that one as well, with similar sideways driving. Well, the 3 minis well clear. It's still Roger Stanford fourth in his Cortina. Here he comes. In terms of the classes, well, Class C is being led by the Bell Ferguson Mini, lifting the rear wheel there through Coppice. Class F is being led by Stanford, Class A by Piers Grange in the Mustang, Class B by the Dance and Graham Miller Austin A40. We don't know who it is in that car, unfortunately. James Ibbotson is leading Class E in his Hillman Imp. I think that'll put him into the overall lead of the championship, James Ibbotson. And Class D by Adam Gittings in the Morris Minor. There go the leaders over the line. 6 laps completed, they're separated by 1.5 seconds. There is number 13, that's John McGurk. He's in 9th place with the Lotus Cortina. He's got the Dance Graham Miller Austin A40 behind him. Jimmy Syme is still harrying Roger Stanford for 4th place. There is Alan Greenall. Completely missed his braking point for the chicane first time through and went so far straight on. I think he had to pay to get back into the circuit. I don't know where he disappeared to. I can only assume he went round the Grand Prix loop and rejoined. There's a move made by one of the Lotus Cortinas. That's McGurk making a move on Robin Slater. That's for 8th place. Robin Slater running in the same class as the Minis. He's the first of the Ford Anglias. Here are our leaders. They're coming up to lap Luke Wilson in his Austin A40. 5 minutes to go. How sideways is Joe Ferguson going to get into the chicane? Or a little more reserved that time. Somebody pulling into the pits there. It looked like a Ford Anglia. That was Ez Walker, number 43 out of the race. Only a couple of retirements. We lost Neil Bray and Alex Williams early on, of course. And here's the battle further ahead, and that's Pete Smith, number 71. Now, he's recovering after that moment on the first corner. He's flinging the Lotus Cortina around like he's in one of the Minis, isn't he? He's up past Syme. He's going past Stanford as well now, so he's going to be into the class lead. That's going to be important for the overall championship because he's going to be on 4 out of 4. He'll be level with James Ibbotson, I think, on points, depending on fastest laps. There's Roger Stanford with that ding in the rear on his Lotus Cortina. He was hit by James Everard's Alfa Romeo earlier on. There's Piers Grange in the Mustang, keeping going in 7th place. So Pete Smith is now leading the Lotus Cortina class, number 71. And if he can stay up there, it'll be him and James Ibbotson, I think, with the joint lead of the championship with maximum points in their classes. Let's enjoy some more mini moments, shall we? There is the 341, rear wheel off the ground. This is phenomenal from Joe Ferguson. From Tom Bell in race 1, his co-driver as well. There's Syme in the 25 Mini, lovely blue machine, and some dust being kicked up ahead. Somebody's gone wide, that's one of the Morris Minors. It's Keith Wright, the Bedfordshire driver. Pete Smith goes through to lap him. He's now in 4th place overall, behind Will Deardell. Syme fights back. There's a bit of muck on the tyres of the Cortina, I think. There's Will Deardell lapping one of the... Oh, cloud of smoke there. Who's that? Somebody in trouble. Paul Cooper slows up to avoid it. Now, who's that further round smoking away? It's an Austin A40, I can tell you that. It's the Brian Bedford and Steve Evans car. Now, I hope that's not dropping oil all over the top of the Craner curves. There's the lovely Alfa Romeo Giulia of 164 James Gibbons, the Londoner. And there's Alan Greenall in the Big Falcon, last year's Class A champion. May have met his match this year in Piers Grange. Here's the Hillman Imps further back, about to be lapped. Freddie Brown, I think that is, in the Fraser Imp lookalike there, famous in British touring cars. And 66, the Class D leader, Adam Gittings, being lapped as well. There's the A40 pulling over in a cloud of smoke. His engine has let go. We don't know if it's Brian Bedford or Steve Evans in that car for this race, but he's out, whatever's happened. Let's hope there's no oil down as a result of that. We don't want any spinning in the closing stages. There's only 2 minutes now to go, so a couple of laps left. There is number 11. Beautiful green and yellow Team Lotus colours for Roger Stanford. Great to have him back this year. And the Mustang's closing on him as well. That is for 6th place. They're in different classes. Piers Grange is clear in the lead of Class A. Over the curbs goes the Mustang. So got less than 90 seconds to go now. There is Pete Smith in his Lotus Cortina, not handling its best. We saw it spin earlier on. It's taking it steady here through Hollywood, just hoping there's no fluid down from that Austin A40. Well, it's going to be a win for Joe Ferguson in his spectacular Mini. He's just gone up through Coppice, the 2 leaders. There's our 2nd place man. That's Phil Bullen-Brown's similar car. 3.5 seconds in it between the 2 of them. There is our leader. There's 1 more lap to go. Here he comes into the chicane. He's got an Anglia ahead of him there. Who is it he's coming up to lap there? The white Anglia. I think it's Kevin Swan, number 63. Last lap board is out. Kevin Swan, the Cambridgeshire driver. He's raced in short oval racing in the past. Let's have a number of these drivers here this weekend. There is Joe Ferguson, gets the Mini outside. Well, he's been sideways all the time, hasn't he? You can't tell whether it's intentional or not. Down the Craner curves he comes. A masterclass from Joe Ferguson and from Tom Bell in race 1 as well. Really is something special. Look at that, sideways through the old hairpin. Somebody is off at Redgate. One of the Morris Miners has had a spin. Can't tell who that was. We'll pick that up in a moment. It might have been Adam Gittings, actually, who was leading Class D. Pick that up at the end of the race. So the leader is coming through to take his victory. 2nd win for this car, Joe Ferguson. Coming up to lap another of the Minis. Here he comes, the rear wheel off the ground. Once again, look at that, daylight under the rear wheel. Charlie Croker and his team of drivers have got nothing on Joe Ferguson and Tom Bell. Here they come then, down into the chicane for the last time. What's he going to do here? Is he going to flick it sideways out of the last corner? Well, he's got a back marker ahead to negotiate, but it matters not because he's coming in to take a brilliant victory. Well done, Joe Ferguson, from the very back of the grid. Absolutely superb. Phil Bullen-Brown makes it a Tom Bell Racing 1-2. Flashing the lights. Well done, Joe Ferguson. That was wonderful. Absolute joy to watch. Will Durdal makes it a Mini 1-2-3. And for 4th place, it's going to be Peter Smith. Good recovery after his half spin on the first corner. He'll win the Lotus Cortina class and keep his championship lead, depending on what James Ibbotson does. For the Hillman Imp class, in fact, Michael Loveland is very close to James Ibbotson. We'll wait and see which of the Imps crosses the line in 1st place. There they are together, in fact, going through McLean, so that's going to go to the line. Well, this is the battle for the lead. This is the battle that could affect the overall championship lead because here they come. James Ibbotson in the navy blue car, and Michael Loveland is trying to take the class win. This is going to go to the last corner. Ibbotson's got the advantage. If he wins this, he'll have 4 out of 4, like Pete Smith, and have the joint championship lead. But Michael Loveland up the inside. Look at this, a last spin lunge. Michael Loveland's going to go over the gravel. Ibbotson back ahead of him round the outside. He's going to go onto the curb. It's going to be James Ibbotson, and he will be the joint championship leader, subject to fastest laps with Pete Smith. What a finish between those two. Well done, Michael Loveland. Good effort there, but he's just a little bit too eager into the chicane to get the class win for the last time. Well done to the Little Hillman Imps, and well done, Joe Ferguson. The class winners: Ferguson wins Class C, Pete Smith Class F, Class A goes to Piers Grange in the Mustang, he was 7th. The Miller Dance A40 wins Class B in 10th. Class E goes to Ibbotson, as we just saw, by 1 second over the line. And Class D did go to Adam Gittings in his Morris Minor. What a superb race that was, and what a masterclass from Joe Ferguson. Here are the results then confirmed. The Ferguson car, of course they swapped over drivers between races 1 and 2. Joe Ferguson the winner by 5.5 seconds, near enough in the end, ahead of Phil Bull and Brown. Will Durdal taking 3rd, making it a mini 1-2-3. Pete Smith, the class win, in 4th place, 4 out of 4 in his class this year. Syme took 5th ahead of Stanford, then Piers Grange, the Class A winner, in 7th. John McGurk taking 8th in his Lotus Cortina. Robin Slater, the first of the Anglias, home in 9th, and the Dance Miller A40 completing the top 10, winning Class B. Alan Greenall recovering to 11th after his off at the chicane. 12th going to Martin Reynolds in his Anglia. Then Ibbotson beat Loveland home for 13th in the Battle of the Imps in Class E. Nathan Williams completing the top 15. 16th behind them was Kevin Swan in his Ford Anglia. And then came Freddie Brown in his Imp. Adam Gittings winning Class D in his Morris Minor. Gibbons was next home in his Alfa Julia, ahead of reigning champion Patrick Harris in his Morris Minor 20th. 21st to Paul Cooper. Luke Wilson 22nd, ahead of Keith Wright. And then Tim Dodwell 24th was the final finisher. We lost to Bedford, Evans, Austin with engine failure. Ez Walker pulled into the pits, and we lost Alex Williams and Neil Bray early on. Well, we've still got one race to go, the pre-93 and 03 touring cars, but I think I need to just take a pause to let my voice recover after that brilliant pre-66 display there. The winner is down in Parc Ferme. And we will hear from Joe Ferguson in a few moments' time with Steve Jameson. Okay, so we'll head down to Steve Jameson in Parc Ferme, and he's talking to the one and only Joe Ferguson.
Joe Ferguson, a massive congratulations. That was some drive from yourself. How do you feel?
Yeah, pretty mega, to be fair. After racing here yesterday, we knew the lap times was there and we knew the pace was there. I thought it'd be a little bit harder from the back of the grid. Just had a bit of a do or die move in the first couple of bends, and and then pulled it off.
It's been perfect really from yourself and your partner here all day. You've not had a fault, it seems. It's been flawless driving throughout. This car has absolutely smashed the last 2 races. What's so special about it?
Just the level of preparation. I mean, Tom builds the engines and the cars for us. We do a lot of preparation back at the workshop. Our motto is if we win the races in the workshop. So that's exactly what we've done today.
What's it actually like to drive? Because I know Dave on commentary was absolutely raving about the rear wheel coming off the tarmac and how sideways it was going. It looks, if nothing else, a whole lot of fun to drive.
Yeah, I've driven a lot of different sort of varieties of cars, but I have to say nothing compares to this historic Mini. They're just so much mega fun to drive, and yeah, just awesome fun.
Very quick as well on this evidence. Congratulations.
Lovely. Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers, Joe. All right, so.
Okay, so a bit of oil to be cleared up, as you can see by the marshals before our final race of the day, the Simply Service Pre-03 touring cars and Laser Tools Pre-93 touring cars. So we'll just take a short pause, if anything, to let my voice recover a little bit before our final race of the weekend. So we'll let the Orange Army, who have been brilliant as always over all 3 days this weekend at Donington. Our final race coming up very shortly, which will be the final classic touring car race of the weekend. We'll bring you the grid in a few moments. They're further down the order in that race as well. And I think Steve Jameson has got hold of the two battlers involved there in the Battle of the Hillman Imps. And that is, of course, Michael Loveland and James Ibbotson. Let's hear from them.
Yeah, welcome back down to Park Ferme. I've managed to grab the two men of the moment in the Hillman Imps. Guys, we thought your first race was good. I think that second race went and topped it. What a finish. Michael, first of all, talk us through it from your perspective.
Well, I got past the 2 or 3 rows in front of me straight away off the grid, most of the Anglias. And then Martin Reynolds got back past me and had quite a clear run. I thought I'd just see if I can keep up with James, and he wasn't losing me. And then I started catching him and I thought, hello, there could be something on here. And then all of a sudden I caught him quite quickly in a couple of laps, and I thought, well, I'll go for it. So we came up to Coppice. I knew it was the last lap. I thought I'd dive up the inside of him. I eased off because I thought I was going to collect him, run wide and collect him. James nipped through again, came down to the chicane, and I went up the inside of James, and I just didn't have any brakes left. I just went straight on through the gravel. James took me again, and that was it. He beat me again. So sorry.
James, from your perspective, a brilliant race. That makes it 4 from 4 for you, I believe, as well. You must be absolutely delighted to be right at the top of that championship.
Yeah, not too bad for the first season, I don't think. Yeah, towards the end of that, the gearbox started making a horrible noise. I think it's eaten itself, so I backed off quite a bit, and then I could see Michael getting ever closer in the mirror, and I thought, no, I can't let him past. And then I was watching the mirrors the whole way down the back straight towards the chicane, and I saw him dive, so braked a little bit, sort of more than I had to, and drove back around the outside of him. But fantastic race, and
it was good.
It's great fun to be racing against him. Yes, of course, yeah.
Was there any point at, towards that final finish where you thought, oh no, he's actually managed to get me here?
Absolutely. I honestly thought, I was. To be honest, I didn't think it was going to make it to the end of the race, but just about, and yeah, just about done it. So happy with that.
James, congrats on the win. Michael, congrats on second place. That was a fantastic race, gents.
Yeah,
thank you.
Enjoyed it.
Cheers.
Thank you very much. Take care. Thank you.
Cheers, boys. Thank you.